Thank you very much, Rob. And well, I don't know what you're on about, Rob. This is standard stuff for us. You know, we're always very angelic outside of office hours, casting Dota 2, myself and Purge. But we've got a game on our hands. Vega versus the Final Tribe. The panel seeming very much on the Vega Squadron side of things. You were sort of saying to me, Purge, you sort of like what the Final Tribe's got going on this game.
I mean, I see what they're trying to do with the combo physical damage, basically. Like, they do need some solutions against Lifestealer, and that they need physical damage to kill him. And it looked a little bit weird on the Void pick, but I think the Clinks kind of pulled it together. I do agree with Kyle that it's very cooldown reliant, because once you run out of Chronosphere, then scoring those kills and locking down your opponents is tough. But between like Slaughter Amplification and a Chronosphere and a Clink's ulti, they're going to kill heroes so fast. Like, the Clink's ulti is actually really, really high damage. And something else Kyle pointed out is like, oh, they don't have a good way to kill Puck outside of Chrono. He's right about that. But if they get an Orchid on the Clinks, that'll give them another option potentially. It kind of depends on timings, you know. Puck could have a Yule Scepter, or maybe Clinks goes Deso instead. But they have some ways to play into things. And it's not just Chronosphere, it's also Caudle. Yep. Blinding Light is kind of, sort of effective this game. I guess, yeah. Push people in the Chrono, I guess.
For me, I'm sort of in the fact that, you know, you've got this Void game going on, and there definitely, as the panel says, from what I can see, there's going to be damage issues. There's going to be this point where you're chronoing a Lifestealer. If he gets the Rage off, you're probably not going to kill him. If you're chronoing the Sven, or even someone by the Sven, he gets honestly, a Warcry off, it's going to be hard to beat through him.
If he rages and they Chronosphere him, he can still die easily.
You think?
Yes. If he gets amplified damage with Clink's ulti on the outside, yes, he still dies.
Once once they've got the 6 on the Slardar,
That's what's kind of cool about what they're doing. Like, in some ways, you could maybe even argue that they've tried to bait out this kind of a draft by picking Caudle first and saying, like, go ahead, pick the obvious counter, the Lifestealer, and then we're going to build something around it that makes it better. And even things like Tusk can be effective as a solution. Like, you can Ice Shards block the Lifestealer, so even though he is magic immune, he has to walk all the way around, or maybe he can't escape, or maybe you can snowball the guy that he's going on to buy them 3 seconds so open wounds runs out. They have some options when they do get to mid-game team fighting.
We'll see how the lane set up. It's going to be Kez and MNT sticking towards the top, and Hanskent and Frost there. So at the moment, both teams actually sticking to the 2-for-2s in a bit of a meta where, especially in some of the recent qualifiers, we've seen sort of a return to the tri-lane. See how these dual lanes work out for both sides. And in the mid lane, Chessie on the Clinks versus DM's Puck. So far, 7-1, 5-1, pretty close on the CS. I mean, this is a lane, right, where the Clinks has to be a little bit careful, right?
Slightly. Normally, I would say that's a little bit scarier for Puck, potentially.
Okay.
Because one thing that limits Clinks is his mana, actually. He has really bad base damage. That's why Clinks is solving his problems with Wraithbands. But he's also bringing himself Mangoes. That way, he can continue to fuel his Searing Arrows and make up for his low base damage. So, yes, I mean, he's going to get hit by nukes and stuff, but by far, Clinks is going to do far more damage hitting his opponent than vice versa. And because they both have high ground wards, he's always going to be able to attack. So, yeah, he can phase shift once in a while, but he can't phase shift more than like 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3 attacks.
I mean, would you say sort of nowadays, we do see some mids do this, going for sort of Mangoes rather than Clarities. Is it just, they're not reliable enough really to get Clarities out in the mid lane? You've got to have that instant burst without any sort of worry of it, either your money getting wasted, even though it's more cost efficient technically.
Almost always, Clarities are way more cost efficient, but if you think about Clinks, compared to a normal spell, let's say I'm a Sven and I want to cast a stun. That's like almost your whole Mango in 1 Mango. But for Clinks, it's 8 mana per arrow. He's getting like 15 arrows per Mango.
There's 15
That's
CS.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty for value. So Clinks is like a rare hero where Mango abuse is actually super valuable instantly.
See down here, a bit of a go again onto Zibe. And Peksu pushing him back underneath that tower. On the Slardar, definitely the, well, 10 for 0, 8 for 1, both off laners, a little bit behind, but no one really getting entirely zoned out CS, and Zibe has got the creep wave at least contained quite close to his tower, so he can afford to still go out a little bit. Does have to be a bit careful. Only down to 2 tangos left in regen.
It's a cool combo anyways. It's always nice to pair the stun with Caudle.
A little bit of a go up top. You see Hanskent able to get himself away with the snowball. Kezio and MNT will continue to chase. They have the ball slow on him as well. He's got some stick charges. This is going to be a bit of attention drawn away from the lane, so a bit of free farm for the Void during this time. But with another Mango popped and another stun to come out, Vega will find first blood onto Hanskent.
It's a nice kill going on the Beastmaster. The faster he gets boots or other follow-up items means the faster he'll be able to dominate the lane. Another ability about Caudle that I just really love right now is his Chakra Magic is really cool. I mean, previously the way it worked, it would lower the cooldown of the spell you cast after your Chakra Magic, but now it lowers the cooldown of all of your basic abilities on either an ally you cast on or a friendly. So hypothetically, you could Slaughter could initiate, drop his stun, you can cast Chakra Magic, and then like 2 seconds later you can stun again.
The amount of lockdown. Yeah, if you
really
sort of
cool.
prep that with a good bash beforehand and after, that's you have more than enough time for
You ever had 2 time walks in a row?
They can't catch you.
Yep,
You're literally invincible. Yeah, we'll see what sort of sweet plays we get coming out with the Chakra down the line. And earlier you did mention the Clinks build. You said sort of about the potential for maybe looking for an Orchid if they do want to have that extra catch for heroes like the Puck, or even having the silence on a Lifestealer who does rely on his spell. Do you think we're going to see that, or are we going to see sort of the Clinks focus on just getting the damage items, really trying to capitalize on the ultimate?
It's a good question. I didn't think about the Lifestealer aspect, but that makes Orchid even better. Orchid against Lifestealer is so good, because it's a hero that doesn't want to have to buy Black King Bar. Yeah. He doesn't ever really want to buy a Manta
And there's
style.
no save really on his team. No one's going to be able to...
Yeah, it'd have to be like a Glimmer Cape or some Lotus Orb or something like that. They need some kind of a solution in most cases. Slow Slardar, not going to be able to catch up here, and he'll be able to break the Salve probably, but...
actually has the bash
ready. Okay, so I guess this does look pretty good.
He's diving in, and one more touch should do it. And he'll get it out. Zibet able to take down Peksu there with a chase. Madara's going to turn up and see if we can find a kill in return. Nice stun there, but it's not enough to save him.
Very close. In some ways okay that he died, because now he just respawns and doesn't have to like limp at low HP for a long time, but either way, a nice kill, a little bit of experience for him. Dealing with the Void is definitely something that Vega has to be slightly worried about, but it is very specific about where he puts his Chronos down.
Yeah.
I guess the key players and heroes that I'm really looking at for Final Tribe, it's just Void and the Clinks, basically. They're the ones that kind of make the action happen while the supports help out and assist them. And over on Vega's side, it's definitely going to be things like Puck. They don't have as much rotational capabilities. It takes them a little bit more to make tempo happen on Vega's side. That's one advantage that Final Tribe has. It's like Clinks can just be invisible and show up somewhere, you know? It's easier to set up those ganks. Whereas on the Vega side, they're going to have to utilize smokes, maybe Shadow Blades to actually make some of these kills happen. Or at least wait till Blink Dagger, which is a lot harder to get than just guaranteeing levels in lane.
Yeah, we'll see how quick they can get that Blink online. Top lane Hansken starting to make the pull around as well. The most is bottom. A bit of aggression once more from Madara. Diving in past the tower on top of Zibet. It's a pretty beefy hard kill to try and get the Slaughter. So Madara unable to do anything more than just trade a few blows. But in the mid lane, Jesse, I mean, you said it. The Puck has to be careful. And Jesse, he's going to punish the fact that DM messed up. That's solo kill in that mid lane that was pretty even in CS.
He did use his ulti on the mid lane. Yeah. It's actually quite... If you can place it well, it's a really good ultimate, actually. Especially once they change the damage back to hero damage.
Especially against sort of a Puck who wants to sort of play low in the lane and then get out with a Dream Coil. There's going to be these skeletons popping up, and then when he pops out of the coil, there'll be a skeleton at the end waiting to hit him. Yeah,
and they're constantly... You can't dodge all the attacks. There's so many of them coming, basically, that you can't even really abuse the orb too well to really get a huge advantage.
Yeah, there's no quick way for a Puck to kill them or get rid of them. They have to stay away. So... We'll
the stun
almost say expect to see DM.
Oh my god.
These procs with it, but Zibe is doing it perfectly. Every time, he's always got it set up, ready to go.
Yeah, both of them play that so well. Like prepping the Illuminate, they stun when it's about to hit. That way he has to just take it. He should have actually, in hindsight, probably should have used Enrage there to dodge that damage, because everything else is physical. So it's like Enrage is actually kind of useless in that lane, as long as they combo the stun with the Illuminate. Yeah,
you just can't forget how hard that bash does hit, and especially once he's going to hit the level 6, it's going to make that lane even sort of impossible for the Lifestealer to be in. It's top. Bit of a chase down here as DM does come in with the Dream Coil onto the Void. As they've got the control, they'll take him out. Good rotation from DM, puts Frost back in his place, takes him off the map. He was getting good farm. I mean, at the moment, though, it is the Lifestealer that really is storming ahead. Despite dying in that bottom lane, Madara has been able to get in and get the CS. So he's playing sort of that style where it seems like, sure, he's going to die in some situations, but he's getting a severe step up in farm, and they've just taken the tower 8 minutes in.
Yeah, that's pretty good to do, considering they didn't have to rotate much for that. That was like, they're just laning stage, basically. Jesse getting another kill now in the mid lane.
Again, with the ult, by the looks of it.
And he is going to be going for a Medallion. He may just go something like Medallion into Orchid. I could see that being a nice blend of minus armor as well as the utility of a Silence. But he's, I mean, 2 kills is huge on the mid lane. He's equal farm to Lifestealer right now, and he's the big damage dealer in the game. So if he has a good game, it just sounds very, very good for Final Tribe. Yeah. Just get Void 6, Clinks rotates over, scores a kill on any hero he wants.
Down bottom again, it's going to get easier for Zibate with that 6 online. So much physical damage with the chase down, and very little that heroes like Peksu can do. Sure, he's going to have some slows and such, but Slardar's going to have the movement speed to catch up.
Yeah.
And as soon as he gets that first touch on you or crush on you, you're gone.
It's definitely not even that useful for Jakiro try to slow to get away, because Slardar's just going to be faster. I don't even think that Jakiro probably has boots yet. Still a little early for that. So despite that tower dying, as long as Coddle stays in the area, they still have offensive control. They still have defensive options. Just really the good thing about the lanes they picked. Kind of gives them everything they want. 6 is up here for Chronosphere, so we'll have to keep an eye to see if Chessie rotates. There's a little bit of draw on the map here. I think that is that a color? A pink color? I can't tell. That is Puck rotating top lane, though. They're getting ready to gank on Hand Skin. The Tusk.
They're chasing him down. He's by the Roche pit.
There we go.
And they've got him. Did have to commit the Dream Coil, but it is Hanskin gone nonetheless. At the same time, down bottom though, TFT making the counter play, getting a support kill for themselves. Peksu's caught out. Quick rage and a run away from Madara. Will mean that he gets himself back and did hit that good timing. 9 minutes on the Midas on top of the phase boots. So on track to get that Radiance on and decent progression. We're actually seeing Slardar is going to be going, hold that fort in the mid lane. DM just gets absolutely destroyed. The tag team and the damage from the Klink's ultimate, it's just far too much. From with that medallion, it's just so much physical damage.
Does tag team increase his Skelly spawn? Do those get tag team too?
It's everything. Any sort of damage instance affecting whoever is affected by the tag team is buffed up, right?
But isn't it? It's like the person you have to stand near Tusk to get the tag team, I believe.
Yeah, so Tusk has to stand on top of the puck.
If it combos with the Klink's ultimate, that's busted. Because he could just stand near Klink's Skellies, basically, and they would all do slows.
Oh, I see what you mean. Does it
means you're
consider it still damage from the original Klink, so then...
No, I mean, they're different. Yeah. They're a different unit source, basically, and you can click on them. So he probably is buffing them with tag team, and then they're getting bonus damage and slows from like 4 different sources, which is crazy broken, basically. Because normally you have to buy like a Necro or something to abuse this.
I mean, and it looks like they've been abusing so far just the Klink Soul on its own perfectly. Because every single time it's off cooldown, they're getting kills with it. Every single time in the mid lane, which is, you know, you sort of have to do it. It's long cooldown ability. It is around sort of that 2-minute mark.
Didn't Kyle say that Puck would only die 1 time this game? I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, I think he did.
Because that's like the second death for Puck. So Kyle, you're wrong.
We're going to see some towers being taken here as well. Kezu and Peksu, they've certainly got the push. The 2 of them beating down on this tier 1 will be a freebie for them. Still, the Lifestealer certainly remains to be probably the bigger worry for TFT, but as we have seen, they've got a lot of damage. As soon as they start to move around with Frost, get a Chrono on the Lifestealer, with the Klink Soul out by the side, yeah, I think you're right, Kev. They almost certainly can kill him.
They do need to start killing him, though. I mean, we're talking about how cool their combos are, and they're getting more kills on the board, but they haven't pushed any towers yet. They're kind of just doing their laning thing. They're going about equal in farm, but they're getting slightly behind in terms of net worth. See if they can catch some here. Nope, the Ice Shard's not going to be able to grab anybody on Vega's side.
And we are going to see, with Zibate's build as well on the start of this game, going for the Midas and into the Vlad. So forgoing the Blink for now. I guess they have got other catch elsewhere. If it was the Tusk can close the gap, maybe the Void gets a good Chrono off, and sort of having these auras and the ability to scale well with the Midas is going to help him keep up with these other heroes. Because Slardar's not really a hero that you can farm. You can't really catch up with. You can't.
It's really hard. You have to like snowball heroes, or you basically have to provide so much lane pressure that they just never come to your lane, and then you can just side push a lane because they don't feel safe. But getting to the point where you're a threat in lane for kills is difficult sometimes. And even then, the Midas is just going to make him attack faster and get more bashes and actually turn him into a carry that can actually deal with Lifestealer. And another thing, if Lifestealer does go Midas Radiance, he's not going to have as much armor as he normally does. Yeah, he's still going to have phase, but with all of these armor sources, like the Slardar and the Medallion on Klinks and just the right clicks on Klinks and the tag team, he's going to be very killable, actually, if he does commit to a Radiance, at least for a period of time before he starts buying more armor items.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can put everything into place, TFT, and nobody's going to survive the amount of damage output that they can afford to give out at this stage of the game. As Madara continues to push out that bottom lane, 2100 gold towards the Relic, does still continue to find the space as what we are yet to see a Chrono this game from Frost, and himself, he is also going for a Midas, so they're going to be running a couple of Midases on the 2 cores. A lot of greed from TFT, but I mean, as the panel said, this is sort of where we're seeing the game going now. We're seeing Midas really make a comeback.
Yeah, I saw Resolution at the airport on the way in, actually, and he just said that it's Like with things like Battle Fury being nerfed, it just feels like those items are just not worth buying anymore in comparison to Midas. So that's just part of the reason. Like it's 40 attack speed. He said
it's a decent amount of attack speed.
If you compare it to a Hyperstone, Hyperstone's 2,000 gold. That gives you 55 attack speed. A Midas is like 2150-ish, and it gives you 40. It's pretty comparable, considering that it also amplifies your levels and your gold gain. So definitely an option as an item.
Chelsea stalking MNT, but of course won't want to reveal himself as Kezio enters into the neighborhood.
Yeah, just standard items so far. Looks like Beast aiming for a quick Solar Crest, which is kind of a cool build. It's a good way to help offset some of the armor that your allies are getting reduced by, because somebody gets chronoed and you throw a Solar Crest on them, they get 12 armor, which pretty much just means Slardr's ultimate is going to be less useful.
And does it surprise you that since the Vlad's nerf, it seems that the purchasing of it hasn't been affected at all? People are just always buying this item, despite the fact it no longer offers the stats for the hero?
I mean, it's not. I don't even think that was the more important nerf of it. It was the health regen.
Okay.
I think it doesn't give 2.5 health regen anymore. I mean, it was like that in Dota 1 a very, very long time ago. Missed the Klink's ulti once again here, but just for a Jakiro on the bot lane. But basically, you're losing some health regen, which kind of matters, but it doesn't amplify like it did in the previous patch with the way that strength would increase it. So it's not that big of a deal, basically. You're still giving armor to everybody. You're still getting a lot of mana regen. It just kind of covers all your bases. Mana regen, armor, a little bit of damage, some lifesteal. It's nice. Just works out. No new item here for Klinks, just treads, medallion still. We'll see. He still can pivot. His net worth is getting completely blown out of the water by lifesteal, though. I'm a little surprised that
they've not done anything about him.
They haven't. They haven't been able to kill him. They haven't put pressure to try to kill him. They haven't taken towers. I feel like they're definitely losing hold of this game in a couple ways, because the net worth of Lifestealer is bonkers good now. And now Puck's been able to get a Blink Dagger, which means Vega's not only been able to pressure towers, but they're going to be able to get online now. Yeah,
you at least hope that Zibe, once he has this Blink Dagger on top of the Midas drums, they're going to try and make movements. Because it does feel weird that we're 16 minutes into a game, they just haven't tried to be proactive at all with the Void in his Chronosphere. Maybe they feel with the Midas build that he cannot afford to do so, but as we've seen, they've got to have confidence in the fact that they do have the damage, because now Vega's going to get the chance to make plays themselves. In they go in the mid lane, 3-man Dream Coil. Era's going to get burnt down. The Roar's out onto Chessie as they'll rip apart the Klinks. Zibe's going to do his best to slither away along the river. The speed will finally run out, but he did manage to keep himself far enough away. And now it's this point of the game where, because TFT were just a little slow in getting things done, Vega's going to start moving around the map as 5, making plays, and as a 5-man unit just shoving down the lanes against TFT, split up and farming across the map. TFT's going to get punished.
Yes, they're going to feel really good about that one. I mean, that's the first tower dying. It is still a tier 1 mid, which is kind of important, but winning a team fight like that and taking the enemy tower is great.
Oh, he's in place. Does he have the damage before any other further spells can come out? He's trying to bait it out there.
He's kind of close. He can maybe get the kill. Needs 2 hits.
He's been baited in. The trap's been set. DM and MNT will be able to turn around and punish Zibe, but you can't blame him for going for that one. He nearly had the outplay.
Yes.
But it was Bias Shrine. It was greedy.
He had to pop the drum before he started the fight, because he was about to get the next hit off before he stunned, but he realized he needed to stun. It's like if he gets that 3rd hit in before he stuns, or 2nd hit in before he stuns, he would have gotten a bash follow-up, and then he would have killed Puck probably. So it was close, but he just had to commit more resources. I'm not sure I necessarily like the drum pickup on Slar. It's kind of cool, but it's also delayed his Blink Dagger. It's like everybody's kind of just being too greedy, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe too many Midases.
It's definitely, compared to some of the games at least I've seen in the qualifiers, it seems a lot slower. I mean, 17 minutes, it's 8 for 7. Both teams, as you say, feeling content with the Midases they're running and looking to farm rather than try and force objectives.
Maybe they're just aiming for late game, though. Is their thoughts like, oh, it's not a big deal, right? They're doing a good job dewarding. There's sentries all over the common places.
Ooh. I like this, because they can do this one very quickly. As we've already said, the amount of physical damage they do and the fact that Tag Team even helps out against the Roche. Roshan doesn't stand a chance. Vega will scan it out. They know it's there, but they're not getting here in time as Roche is just gone.
How do they see it?
They scanned it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Doesn't matter, though.
It's so quick.
That's a really good point. The tag team combo with the medallion and all of their right-click heroes, yeah, that was a fast Roche. So I think basically what Final Tribe seems to be thinking in this game is like, they don't need to like completely mess up all of their movements to go try to score a kill on a lifestealer, because they have the counters to him late game anyways.
That's true.
So they're just thinking like, look, we're still getting kills once in a while. Yeah, they're up in towers, but we can catch up a little bit or make some good movements later. And we have the better team fight in a lot of ways late game anyways, just because of Chronosphere. Especially if Void ends up going for something like an Ags later on, I could see that being really useful too.
So if you're Vega Squadron on the other half, are you sort of saying to yourselves, well, we've got Radiance now, we want to go, because we know that the enemy has this Void that's going to scale well late, and they are going to have this catch and physical damage. We need to start making more things happen now as a team.
I don't even know if Radiance is like some kind of item solution. I mean, it's a good item. It's going to increase his farm rate. I'm not criticizing it, but it's not like it gives them the most incredible timing, I don't think.
So it's sort of, you'd say that
it's more the puck
like
like
lifestealers, you feel, should vary more with their builds, because it seems like every lifestealer nowadays just goes for this Midas Radiance, like the majority of the game of the qualifiers.
It's just a lot safer, and it doesn't like going something like Armlet means that you have to worry about being on top of your opponents, and they have that solution with puck, but
yeah,
it's just easier.
The Infest.
It's just easier to have Radiance.
Yeah.
But this is just a good timing for them. Oh, Void here, Invis finds him. Oh,
He
that's going
does.
to be him.
It's going to be
That's so
DM
bad
and
for him.
it's the Lifestealer in there as well. Has got the damage to bring down Madara, has not. Void Chronosphere will end. Frost trying to jump forward, chasing down Peksu. The Clicking Cell's still going to work as Peksu will fall. They catch the two of them.
That's good. They had sentries in the area. They were basically waiting for their opponent. They knew their timing was coming up here, and they ended up taking a good fight.
Can get Madara as well. They're actually able to chase him down. At the end of the day, Eric came in with a wraparound, had the Ignis Fatus to control him, and that's a big one. Taking the Lifestealer out, that was the first time Madara was turning up with this Midas Radiance that he spent the 20 minutes farming, and they're able to kill him.
So unlike the team fight in the mid lane, what was interesting was that Final Tribe basically were finally in a good place knowing that their opponents were coming. They weren't able to find, Vega wasn't able to find them near their tier 1. They had to chase them up into the shrine area, and that's where things got dangerous. They looked a little uncomfortable about it, but because Void was invis, he was able to catch him with the Chronosphere and force Vega into taking a fight. So that was just really good play by Final Tribe, anticipating their opponent's movements and getting out and finally setting a good trap.
Shadowblade into BKB, the items for Frost that he's going to be aiming for. Should give him pretty much guaranteed chronos in these fights. The only thing, of course, he has to worry about is Kezu having that roar for him. But for now, Kezu's going to see an opportunity to open up on Tansken top. Doesn't have any backup on either side, so a bit of a roar for what there. Oh, until this bots play comes in. The ball's about to disappear, but DM will manage to boost travel in time. Is there going to be any other fight forced by TFT? Looks like they'll just let Hansken go. As it was a lot of resources. 4 heroes came up there. They do get the support kill, but just leaving the map open elsewhere. Kotl's starting to get some farm down bottom, and of course Frost still able to farm in this triangle area towards that BKB.
Yeah, it's okay to split push like that as a Tusk, because it does force people to rotate.
Yeah.
And as long as you push the lane, it's going to mean that your creeps hit tower. You'll better know where Vega is as heroes. So it's pretty bad for Chessie right now, though.
Ice Pop's going to be off the mark. They do not have Roar for this. They do have a lot of damage, however. He's going to pop the ult, try and make his way around the trees, but he's been cornered, surrounded. And that certainly is a bigger one there for Vega, getting Chessie out of the game.
Yeah, they ended up catching him with the dust there. He also didn't have his invis off. It must have been a mistake or something to start that off with. But that's a pretty big loss. And losing the Klink's ulti as well. He wasn't able to score kills.
Yeah, tried to bring someone down with him, but putting that long cooldown ultimate on cooldown once again.
Fast BOTs here for Puck. CQ's up Ezreal's Scepter to give him some survivability. And once again, Final Tribe just kind of playing passively on their side of the map. Taking it easy. Health and movement speed on much, so I guess it makes sense if you're in Radiance. It's more important just to stay alive and move fast. More farming for Slar. Let's purchase Power Treads now. And queuing up BKB will be good. Still can get roared, but it'll help him just stay survivable against disables.
Well, maybe seeing TFT gear up for a bit of a push up top and trying to finally take a second tier 1 tower of Vega Squadron's half of the map. Vega Squadron, they have got 3 up here. Could be a hard one to defend though if TFT want to go in, is that again they have this Chronosphere. But still, it does for they're very hesitant on making moves around. 23 minutes in, and I believe we've only really seen the one. So Frost now heading in, seeing if he can get himself on top. They've got the lead in. Hansken gets the punch onto Peksu. The snowball as well to follow up. Peksu will turn with the ultimate, but the physical from Chessie is enough. Peksu will fall, and TFT begin to force Vega Squadron back away from this top tier 1 tower defense.
And the lineup is just so cool, actually. Like they have all this physical damage. I don't know exactly how the mechanics of Sven's new shield works. I don't know if it's like it blocks damage before or after armor reduction, but because they have so much physical damage, it doesn't really feel like the most survivable
thing.
They
it helps, through
but
it incredibly
like,
quickly.
Old Sven would have been like the hard counter to the strat,
Yeah.
but I don't think the current Sven armor with Warcry is a great solution to it, because it just buys them a little time.
I think you're absolutely right. Against sort of this very high physical damage strat, as you say, it looks weaker than before because it's not just that flat, consistent armor for the duration.
Something to remember though is that minus armor strats usually don't feel as good super late game. So there might be a point in the game where Vega is able to pretty much buy 1 or 2 armor items on every single one of their heroes, and then that like diversification of damage really matters, like Kyle pointed out, because then if all it is armor, all it is physical damage.
Because that's what it is, isn't
armor.
it? There's literally, it's the Coddle Blast and a couple of tough spells. There's no magical from TFT that's going to scale at all.
Yep, pretty much the case.
So all about the itemization for Vega Squadron, and as you say, if they can get sort of those armor items online, maybe see something down the road like a Sheever's on the puck, or an AC, of course, on one of the aura carries. Could be either the Beastmaster or the Sven if MNT does find himself a little bit of lucky gold. For now, though, trying to get the Crimson Guard online for the team, certainly going to help a little bit.
It'll help them survive fights even better. Crimson is actually probably the best thing by far that they can do, because the way that damage block works is, let's say I'm throwing 200 damage at you and you have minus 1,000 armor. If you have 200 damage block, your damage is negated. It takes off the top basically. So before the armor is affected, it just reduces the damage that you deal. So Crimson is perfect and is going to give them a huge amount of survivability against the final tribes. Physical damage and minus armor.
Vega there did try and lead over onto TFT's half of the map, unable to get any sort of catch, as once again it's a lot of movements from Vega as a group, and TFT being able to find the space to go out alone. Chessie getting chased down there in the mid lane, goes straight for the TP out, and is able to get away before Kezu can get close enough with the Roar. So we'll see how TFT prepare for this in the mid lane. The 5 of them eyeing up the fact that the wave is getting pushed in, but at the same time Vega Squadron not quite moving towards the tower yet. Still playing it safe. Very aware that Frost will be around with the Chronosphere and not wanting to get caught out as a unit. We'll get a deep ward down around that mid lane as they can continue to push in the top and be prepared to watch any sort of movements from down bottom, unless the smoke comes out, as it has. As TFT will smoke up, that ward will not provide any sort of information now for Vega Squadron, so this could be a good opportunity for TFT to make the jump. Oh,
Waste tag team finding the lifestealer illusion, but doesn't realize. Now is spotted here. They see him.
They're going to make a move straight towards him.
Okay, great. Nice play.
Do TFT still want to try and fight? Frost is going to jump forward. He's got the Chronosphere, but it's only onto MNT. So the support Sven is certainly going to get a beating. The question is anyone else? MNT's down. Hanskin look to chase Peksu. They do get the damage out from Frost, but they've lost Hanskin on their half, and Kezu has a Roar. So straight away, Frost gets punished. And at the end of the day, it's going to be Vega Squadron smiling after that fight, as Frost overextends himself. Didn't seem to respect the fact that Kezu had the Roar. And if he gets Roar at this stage of the game, he's just going to get melted. Buybacks have to come out. Hanskin's back in the game. They're trying to fight this still, TFT, as Zibe jumps in. Rage will be there from Madara. Snowball does bring them down towards Kezu. Chessie's come in with a wraparound from behind as they manage to kill off Kezu. They've got the light down, dragging in Madara. He gets himself out of range of it, though, as they cannot control him. In fact, Madara, he's ready to go back in. The light's still standing. We'll distract him for a little bit, but now with the rage up, he can continue to chase down, look to lock down onto Zibe, but the speed is too much. Zibe kites him up, gets back.
Well, I mean, it was a very close fight, but ultimately the initial Chronosphere wasn't very good. I mean, it just only caught a Sven. But once you commit a Chronosphere and you have these really long cooldowns like they do, you have to commit to those things, because you're like, well, that's our Chronosphere. If we don't at least hard commit to this guy, then the Sven doesn't even die, and then our opponents just go high ground. So they had to try to do it. It just didn't work out very well. And now, because Manta has been up on Lifestealer, it doesn't just solve a potential Orchid problem, it also solves a Corrosive Haze problem from Slardar. So even if he does get his armor, who's super reduced, he just Mantas it off.
Actually, will be caught out in the trees. Tries to lay down the ult to at least destroy the creep wave. Slow down any chance of TFT getting a push going once again in that mid lane. Still 28 minutes, so 1k lead for Vega. They have been able to do a little bit more around the map, taking away those 2 towers on the top lane, whereas TFT themselves have only taken 1 mid and 1 top. Down bottom, DM.
Will scary. He can't chase this. No, he's going to give up. Okay.
Yeah, with the Dream Coil and the Blink, it's enough for DM to get out of there. DM on the pot going for the Aghanim straight away, and TFT's cause still just trying to get all those BKBs online so they can afford to go in without any sort of worry at the damage output from the Jakiro.
They really are focusing a lot on hitting neutrals on Final Tribe this game. It's like an abnormal amount, I feel like.
It definitely is. Like, this is definitely one of the slower paced games we've seen recently. As I think it has to be, as you say, TFT just feel very confident in the fact that if they're not losing the game now, they're not going to lose the game at all, because they have in their mind that strong late game outplay that they can just afford to relying on Frost to hit those chronospheres to really mess with Vega's composition. Vega now ready to go again. Smoke up. They'll look for the wraparound, see what they can find. All the ults are up for TFT though, so they do have to be aware of the chrono. But if we see Kezu again just able to get the roar in the face of Frost, it's a worry gone for them in the fights. Yeah,
they're looking for heroes right now, but they're not going to find anybody unless Chessie ends up squeaking over here. But it's unlikely. It's definitely not a very safe part of the map, and it's smart that they're spending so many sentries to deward all this. They don't want to reveal by killing this sentry, so they're just waiting for a grab if they can get one. Smoke is breaking now on their heroes. Hanskin's just kind of moving in and out, but he does not realize it.
No, I mean, but the same, he is in this good position where he is sort of between the team and them, so they may feel forced to go upon him.
Yeah, they found Beastmaster now with that shard, so they know. They kind of figured they're up there anyways. Now look at all the sentry wards. Yeah, that's their part of the map. You just doesn't matter. You have a shrine there.
Now Vega Squadron just shifting over to Vega's half of the map as they trade the places. Both teams, I mean, TFT seems still very scared to start an engagement.
Yeah. I mean, the part of it is that Slider doesn't have a BKB yet. He's bought so many items. He bought Midas, then he bought drums, then he bought a Blink Dagger, then he's like, I'm going to get a medallion, and then he's like, maybe I'll think about a BKB now, and he still doesn't have it yet. He's got a lot of farm. He's third in net worth. He's got more than Puck, but he still doesn't have Magic Immunity, and so does Clinks. Clinks is in the same spot.
Oh, I'll find Zibbe. Roars there straight away. Does get forced down to low ground, but with the Macropyre out, Zibbe will burn.
Yeah, very dead there. Chrono
Frost,
somewhere?
he's trying for a kill and response.
Someday we'll see it. Oh, there's it. We can see it.
They got the puck. They get DM out of it. The rest of Vega are wrapping around. There's going to be buyback straight away from both sides. Frost spots the BKB, stands his ground. Hanskin's in on the front line. Kezu, can he get himself out of this? The Clink Salt kills him. It's enough damage now with extra control. The Ignis Father's dragging 2 more back. Triple kill for Jesse. As Vega Squadron, they've got to run. DM's got to be careful. He brought back for this. The shard's on point. They will not catch him with the time dilation. The snowball is still out onto Peksu. Doesn't connect with the stun. In fact, DM, he jumps back in. Matter is inside him, and he's ready to go with the invest bomb. There's going to be a buyback from Kezu. Hanskin going for the TP out. They've got the Yules to cancel it. As they'll catch the Tusk. Hanskin will try his best to block him off with the shards. It won't save him. It's a dieback for Hanskin, but as you saw there, big buybacks being expended by both sides, mainly Vega having to use 2 core buybacks, both DM and Kezu buying back for that play.
That made that absolutely worth it. Like, he catches the 2 heroes with the shards. It looked kind of bad, and then it looked like it had turn potential. This is still a good thing out of it, though, for Vega Squadron, that they're able to take Roshan probably before Final Tribe responds. The Crimson Guard was huge in that fight. That was like support.
It allowed them to live for so long.
Yeah, like the Clink's ulti just didn't do anything. When that's up, it stops all the damage.
Yeah, Kezu nearly managed to get out of there. Only just, I think, pretty much the last hit from the Clink Salt was enough to finish him off. As Vega, they're going for the Roche. They are without the Tusk, but even so, TFT don't seem to be aware that this is going on. So this is going to be a free Aegis and Cheese for Vega. As well, we'll see if they do try and do something with it. They are without the buybacks on the 2 cores, but maybe they'll feel safe enough with having that Aegis and Cheeses. We'll see once again the start of how this all kicked off. Finding Zibbe on the front, but then Frost, he holds on to that chrono. He knows that there's going to be a bigger target coming in from behind. As soon as DM's in with the blink, we're going to see it here. Bang on, they get the catch, and DM just gets shredded. No hesitation from Frost. Feels confident that if they can get rid of the puck, they're going to have a good chance in the team fight, but they don't hold back with the buybacks. They know that this fight's going to go on long enough to allow the puck to get back in.
It definitely looked really good. Just having both Chronosphere and the Kata ult to combo with the Clink's ultimate is really nice, actually. It just creates like this area where you know that, like, if they fight here, they are going to lose the fight 100%. And you have 2 options to keep them there between Chrono and the what is it called? Ignitus?
The Ignis Vartus.
Ignis, okay.
Or Will-O-Wisp.
Okay.
The spell is called, but the ball itself has a name.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So here we go, tier 2 being taken. They have got good sieging power with the Clinks. Jesse punch for the tower. There we go.
Yeah,
where's your backdoor protection now?
It's because he condemned that one. That's what happened.
Or the glyphs.
Clearly.
Yes.
Condemned
Artifact terminology.
Yep.
Linking into the Dota 2 universe.
Better than auto chess, am I right? even though I played a lot of auto chess last week.
I was going to say you're on your own there, Kev. Let's go mid lane pushing coming in.
Who's Scotty is that?
Wait. The Clinks. Just finished up the Scotty.
Okay, I thought he was making Solar Crest. Interesting. That's cool. It definitely helps with the raw HP problem that Clinks kind of has right now without his ultimate giving him health.
Yeah, I get it. Nice as well to kite up the Lifestealer a little bit more through the rage. That's
really good, actually. Yeah, it's a good solution against Lifestealer. He's normally like super fast. He's hard to kill. He's got amplified damage on him, and he still has like 15 armor. He's a problem, basically.
He's big. Yeah, this AC, I mean, as you said, the AC with the Crimson, with the Warcry, they have got that ability to turn up to fights and just not get melted by the physical. They've itemized against it. Still the game very close, though. 34 minutes in, 20-13, but only a 2K lead. And as you can see on the individual net worth, it is just this Madara Lifestealer. They're sailing ahead of everyone else with this Midas Radiance. The amount of farm that he's been able to get, and the amount of sort of fights that have benefited him being numerous this game. Another smoke from Vega, again looking to make plays around the Raw.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
Now, both teams, they're very good at sticking together. We haven't really seen many people get caught out. Sure, Hansken a couple of times was split pushing waves, but other than that, both teams very much prepared to just jump in as five.
Well, that's one really nice advantage for Vega is that they can kill shrines. So it'll be harder for Final Tribe to move from here on out. And part of the reason they are so grouped is because they combo so well together. If Vega doesn't hang out near each other and they end up getting engaged on a fight between like some Chronosphere and Clink's ultis, then they're going to lose the fight 100%. So they have to make sure that they stick nearby, that way they can cover each other so it doesn't become some kind of like one-sided big team fight. But they definitely have options with the Aegis. That's going to help a lot. He's queuing up a Daedalus next, actually, on Lifestealer to just transition his physical damage. And I think this is a good item choice as a solution. He's already attacking fast. He has lots of raw damage from the Radiance that normally is not the most valuable. So just pair like a high damage increasing item like Daedalus on top of it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. As this mid lane, Madara is starting to push on. Up to the high ground. We'll see what TFT do to stop it. They've got the Chrono, but obviously aware of the Aegis and not really wanting to pop it with just the one, and he's going to get the backflip. He gets himself on top of DM, but look at the damage resist. The Crimson Guard, the Warcry, he's just not dying. The Puck's able to survive, get off it, phase shift. Can he actually play his way out or go for the self-fuels? They'll turn towards the Jakiro instead, but DM, he's got the orb away, he jumps out, he's out of there. Only the Jakiro dying to that full commitment, pretty much with every single ult there, of TFT, just because of how hard now it is to kill Vega Squadron's lineup. The physical damage, it's falling off, as you said.
They just don't do that much. If Clinks isn't there, if there aren't more heroes, the Crimson and the Warcry just solves everything, basically.
Bazibbe again, Dream Coil will hold the two of them back, as Vega just interested in making the space to allow them to hit into these melee racks. If you saw TFT struggling to get in before with the ults, what are they going to do now? They can't really do much at all. They have to let the melee racks fall as Vega break into the base and get away with it. Only losing a Jakiro in that whole instance.
I mean, it looked like Puck could die, but once the Chrono runs out and he gets phase shift off, it's just too late. It kind of felt like one of those moments where your ally sees an opportunity, goes in, but your team is like also reacting to your initiation, and as a result, you just didn't get there fast enough and scored a kill.
Because he got the Puck, but the Puck was at the back, so the rest of his team on the high ground are kind of like, well, you got the Puck, we can't really get to you at the moment, bro. There's a whole team here.
We'll have to walk past this Lifestealer who's shredding our towers. That feels a little dangerous.
Just a little bit of an awkward fight they chose to take there off the back of Frost Chrono.
I mean, on the bright side, Void does have quite a few items, so at some point he's going to be able to start getting these solo kills himself. But he's not quite there yet. And it also helps that Puck has went for the armor talent this game. Really good choice against the enemy draft.
And we sort of saw earlier as well, you know, DM does have the Yules off in time and should be able to get away from him, as TFT can perfectly read him. All about to the side. They put the shards out of the vision there, and it's going to be a fake out. DM just goes for the TP without jaunting over to the orb. And will manage to get himself away. But yeah, at this point, is it almost more, you know, reliable for TFT to try and get a good fight by jumping the Sven? You're somehow stopping him before he gets off the Warcry and the Crimson Guard.
It's kind of hard to say, I guess. I mean, it feels like a lot of resources just to break an item, basically. I would say the more important thing is that if they need to kill Puck or Lifestealer or maybe Beastmaster in the Chrono, I think that's by far the most important thing. Catching Jakiro would be nice too, like some two hero combo would be great, but it's just very difficult to do if Vega has good positioning. So look for the glory team fights. They might grab a Jakiro kill in the mid lane at least. Yeah, and they ended up... He died real fast. He used to have full HP before we actually moved our camera over, but he was, by the time we got there, it was all over.
Yeah, it's still very much TFT having the strength when they find heroes alone. It's just when each and every time Vega had decided to fight as a 5, it's been hard. They might be able to do something with this timing. Obviously, Jakiro buying back in that last fight doesn't mean he is out for a good minute. But TFT, I mean, to be honest, TFT, they haven't really left their side of the map much, have they? It's pretty much been Vega playing over on the Radiant half for the entirety of this mid game.
As he's trying to get away here. Preps for the teleport, they find him, and there's this... That's why he died so fast.
Literally, there's one shot from the Clinks.
The solar crest, the amplify damage, and then Clinks unleashing finally. Oh, some damage. That's basically what we've been expecting to see in these fights, but things like Crimson Guard absolutely make heroes more survivable. Jakiro's going to be the squishiest, though, by far. He's very low armor, very bad agility gain. Has to buy items to be survivable. Yeah,
and as long as he's not really getting hit on and crushed by the Slardar, sure, he's going to die to the Clinks' hits, but he's probably going to get his spells out with the backup of the auras that the rest of his team can offer.
Most likely.
That's his job done if he gets the ult out.
A million pings here coming. One final tribe smoked. They have sentries everywhere, but unfortunately for them, that bird was flying over at the same moment, and as a result, it spotted them going invisible or smoking. And as a result, you can see Vega they're playing a little defensive right now. Yeah.
They're playing it cool.
They know Roche is up soon, basically. So that's what they're aiming to do, is take a team fight here.
Oh, there's a DD rune around as well. That's certainly going to be tempting for Klinkser.
Still no Roche. It's spawning right about now, though. So their smoke is gone, so they're not going to be able to turn this into Roche necessarily, but... I'm sorry, that was before the timer, excuse me.
It's still a minute.
Lots of time.
But obviously, TFT know that's not quite there. Vega Squadron done. As Vega still trying to somehow get a look into the pit. And beginning to approach even more. They will see that the Slardar is now pushing out that middle lane. As they're hovering around, but no one's going to go. Vega Squadron not ready to make the jump. As M&T actually gearing up a blade mount on this Sven. I guess, you know, what sort of with the ult, you have that extra strength, so you're pretty tanky, and then being able to reflect damage before the damage reductions that all your items offer, it means, you know, you are going to hurt whoever's hitting you.
That's
if
true.
that Clinks tries to get on top of you.
I don't think it's going to do that much. I'm not the biggest fan of that.
But they're probably just not going to hit him.
This Sven?
Yeah, if he blade melts. I mean, is there a rush to kill him if he's already used his items? Probably not, right?
I guess not. Just seems... I just feel like you could probably buy something better, but I'm not sure what it would be necessarily. Even like a Force Staff or something, I feel like could be really useful.
I mean, even like an Axe. More damage for your teammates.
Yeah, Axe can be really good too on the hero, for sure.
We'll see if he sticks to it. M&T will go for the jump forward. Nice little dodge there with the snowball.
Yeah, he's ready.
May still be in trouble. He's got the BKB though. Hansken is able to walk away. BKB charge will be forced. And not too much of an issue on the support Tusk.
He did a good job though. Like he reacted perfectly both times. Basically, he's always ready to cast snowballs. Like every opportunity he's had to snowball dodge is done. He's done it routinely. So I mean, he's got a high rank on this hero. What is that? Is that the blue one? Or no, he's just
That's
silver.
the silver.
Good enough.
See, it's not bad. I mean, there's not many silvers in this game. We've got Silver Lifestealer, Silver Beastmaster. Only a couple.
Yep.
A couple of bronze players. Was that like that's the lowest level Void, lowest level Clinks.
Not you. You're not a bronze Void.
The only pro here is the Jakiro. He's got a golden Jakiro.
Oh yeah.
So he knows what he's doing.
That's true.
Everyone else hasn't got a clue. That's the money for Frost. Still saving, holding in the bank, but does have that MKB queued up. We'll see if he does go in for the full purchase once he has the money, or if he's going to feel like he has to play with buyback for a little bit for now. As they do push very quick, Vega. If they do lose a fight and Frost, it does die. The lanes are going to get shoved very hard. So we'll see how precautious he plays with his items.
Better than a stiff drink.
Still such a close game. 22 to 13, less than 1k difference at 43-minute mark. And again, in a patch where most of the games you will expect to see are normally quite short affairs, a lot more fast-paced. But these teams taking a bit of a different approach to the meta. Bottom lane, DM does get found out by the Chrono. Frost will catch him. And with the puck gone for a very long time now, 100 seconds, that means that TFT can rest safely on the fact that it's unlikely that Vega Squadron are going to go for any sort of plays. And Roche is up. This is a big window for TFT to walk in, and a big enough window that the DM may seriously consider buying back.
This will be huge if they can get this, especially as fast as... Oh my god, look at him. The speed at which they're
I
killing
mean,
it.
the buyback comes out,
It's
but
gonna be
it's
so close. Oh,
way
this is
too
bad.
fast. They get the stun
They're all
off, but they're
pushed
not
out.
able to get in the pit, as the Dire will get the kill on Roshan. With the Magpie down, they get the kill, but the Aegis has been picked up by Frost. They get the Will-O-the-Wisp down, multiple buybacks coming up from both sides. Zibe, he's beating into Madara. Madara will start to back off, look towards the high ground. DM has got the phase shift off before the follow-up crush comes through from Hansken and Zibe, who's looking for Peksu. The damage is enough from the Clinks. Now they're running across with a BKB up on Hansken. They're trying to control Kezu, but he's up to the high ground. He's away and out of it. Madara still good to fight and good to go. Frost has the time walk, that extra distance as well, easily getting up to the high ground. The Madara's got the Abyssal Blade back and ready to drop down onto Hansken's head. The magic burst there from the orb as well will allow them to kill off the Tusk. A dieback on Hansken as Madara picks up the triple and just proves to be pretty unkillable now, this Lifestealer. He's able to walk around the fights. There's not a lot that TFT can do about it.
They kind of got there just in time, basically, and it was perfect circumstances. Great stun there by the Sven. Stunned the whole team. They did, what's that? Oh no, it was the Roar. I was like, they got pushed out. Was it Blinding Light? No, it was just the Roar pushing a lot of the heroes out. Luckily, they were able still to get the Aegis and the Refresher Shard. The cheese went to Vega Squadron, and they got the Rosh.
Did they use the Refresher? Oh, that was the double...
I heard it. I saw a ping. I think Hansken put it in the shop and then dropped it. I'm pretty sure. So somebody's got it. They're going to give it to Coddle, obviously,
yeah,
for the double
that
ulti.
is going to be the big one.
Now, it's not going to be perfect against Lifesteal. I don't think you can make it perma-stun, but it can be really
with
close.
With just two? Yeah, I can't... Maybe you can with two. If you time...
Maybe if you time it, absolutely.
I can't remember if they nerfed it, because they did change it, I think, so... That sort of interaction was at least a lot harder to time perfectly.
I really like the Diffusal Blade that Clinks has here. It's a really good solution against Lifestealers to drain his mana. Then he can't rage anyways.
Yeah, puts him off sticking around for these sort of pushes.
He does have a cheese though, so if he does need to, he can.
Ooh.
Oh, perfect time.
There you go, indeed, as you said it. Cheese out, rage out as well. Frost will jump in on the backline. Do they have the damage? He's hitting Kezu. It's just, oh, there we go. That'll do enough, and he's going to go for more. It looks like he's the one actually with a fresh shot, because I believe he's just popped in. He has got the Chrono ready to go again. Buyback comes out from Kezu. There's going to be a buyback as well from Jesse. Jump in. Frost, he's looking for the Chrono. He's not only going to get the puck. Puck's going to come out at the end of the phase shift. Will be trapped, but the Crimson Guard's out. So Frost, he's going to look elsewhere, but Kezu's got the Roar back online. Frost is held down. BKB won't save him. That's going to be Frost in. He's got a buyback, but he's got no Chrono left to use. As he'll come back in, Chessie caught out in the front, saved for now by Hansken with the snowball. The punch up onto Madara. Chessie's got to get himself away from this, but the ice path from Peksu catches the three of them. The BKB's out from Hansken, but they're losing Zibe, they're losing Chessie. 3 dead without buyback. As now, Vega Squadron know that they can just clean up the game. GG is called, and they've done it here. Taking game 1 in quite some style as well at the end of that in that last fight. The Roshan being able to disrupt the plays around there. Going into a push as well where Frost had double Chronosphere. Frost, he's a good Void player, but that did not seem like a good game from him. It was just too slow. They didn't make enough happen with these Chronospheres.